Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something important. We will talk about how to talk to someone in English. Talking to someone in English can feel scary at first. You might feel nervous. You might think, what if I make a mistake? But don't worry. This feeling is normal. Everyone feels this way in the beginning. The good news is you can learn step by step. Chapter 1. Starting a conversation in English. First, let me tell you a small story. When I first tried to talk to someone in English, I was very shy. I didn't know what to say. My words were slow, and sometimes I stopped in the middle of a sentence. But I did not give up. I kept trying. Slowly, I became more confident. So, remember, confidence comes with practice. Now, let's start with something simple. The best way to talk to someone in English is to begin with a greeting. Greetings are easy and very important. You can say, hello, hi, or good morning. These are simple words, but they open the door to conversation. After greeting, you can ask a simple question. For example, you can say, how are you? This is one of the most common questions in English. It is polite and friendly. The other person may say, I am fine, or I am good. Then you can continue the conversation. You can also introduce yourself. You can say, my name is Ali, or I am Sarah. This helps the other person know you. Then you can ask, what is your name? This makes the conversation two-sided, not just one person talking. I remember one time I met a new person. I said, hello, my name is Ahmed. He smiled and said, hi, I am John. That simple introduction helped us start a conversation. So, never forget, simple words can do a lot. Now, let's talk about asking easy questions. Questions help keep the conversation going. You can ask things like, where are you from? Or, what do you do? These are common and useful questions. When you ask questions, listen carefully to the answer. Listening is just as important as speaking. When you listen, you understand better. You also know what to say next. Good communication is always two ways, speaking and listening. Another important tip is to speak slowly. You don't need to speak fast. Many learners think fast speaking is better, but that is not true. Clear and slow speaking is better. It helps the other person understand you. When I was learning, I used to speak very fast because I was nervous. I made many mistakes. Then I started speaking slowly. It helped me think better and speak more clearly. So, take your time when you speak. Now, let's talk about simple sentences. You don't need big or difficult sentences. Use small and easy sentences. For example, say, I like tea, instead of a long sentence. Simple sentences are easy to understand and easy to say. Another good tip is to use common words. You don't need fancy vocabulary. Use words you already know.
This makes you more comfortable. As you learn more words, your speaking will improve naturally. Sometimes you may forget a word. That's okay. Don't stop. Try to explain in another way. For example, if you forget the word restaurant, you can say, a place where we eat food. This helps you continue speaking. I remember once I forgot the word umbrella, so I said, the thing we use in rain. The person understood me. This showed me that even if you forget a word, you can still communicate. Another important thing is body language. When you talk, smile, and look at the person. This shows confidence and friendliness. Even if your English is not perfect, your positive attitude makes a big difference. Also, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Every mistake teaches you something new. If someone corrects you, say thank you and learn from it. When I was learning, I made many mistakes. Sometimes people corrected me and sometimes they didn't. But every mistake helped me improve. So don't fear mistakes. Welcome them. Now let's talk about practicing daily conversations. You can practice simple dialogues every day. For example, "Hi, how are you?" "I am fine." "How are you?" "I'm good. What are you doing?" "I am studying." These small conversations help you build confidence. Practice them again and again. Repetition makes you better. You can also practice with friends. If you have a friend who is learning English, talk to them. Practice together. If you don't have a friend, you can practice by yourself. Talk in front of a mirror. It may feel strange at first, but it really helps. I used to talk to myself in English. I asked questions and answered them. This helped me think in English and speak more naturally. Another helpful tip is to learn everyday phrases. Phrases like "excuse me," "thank you," "sorry," and "please" are very useful. They make your conversation polite and natural. Also, try to use English in real life. When you go to a shop, try to speak in English. When you meet someone, try to greet them in English. Real-life practice is very powerful. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but slowly it becomes easier. Every small step helps you grow. Lastly, always stay positive. Learning to talk in English takes time. You will not become perfect in one day, but if you practice every day, you will improve. I remember feeling shy and afraid, but I kept going. Today, I can speak with confidence, and you can too. So keep practicing, keep speaking, and never give up. You are learning something amazing. Now we have learned how to start talking to someone in English. In the next chapter, we will learn how to continue a conversation and keep it interesting. Chapter 2. How to continue a conversation in English. Starting a conversation is good, but continuing it is just as important. Many learners can say hello and how are you, but then they don't know what to say next. This is very common, so don't worry. You can learn this step by step. First, let me tell you a short story. One day I met a person and said, "Hi, how are you?" He said, "I am fine." Then there was silence. I didn't know what to say next. It felt awkward. But later, I learned how to keep the conversation going, and everything became easier. Now, let's learn how to continue a conversation. After the first question, you can ask follow-up questions. Follow-up questions are very important. They show interest, and they keep the conversation alive. For example, if someone says, "I am fine," you can ask, "What did you do today?" Or, "How was your day?" These questions are simple, but they help you continue talking. You can also talk about daily life. Daily topics are easy and comfortable. You can talk about your day, your work, your studies, or your family. These topics are common and safe. For example, you can say, "Today I went to the market," or "I studied English today." Then the other person may respond and share their experience too. This creates a natural flow. I remember when I started talking more in English, I often spoke about my daily routine. I said things like, "I wake up at 7," or "I go to work at 9." It was simple, but it helped me speak more. Another good way to continue a conversation is to share your thoughts. Don't just ask questions. Also give your own answers. This makes the conversation balanced. For example, what do you like to do? I like reading books. What about you? This way, both people talk and share. It becomes more interesting. Now let's talk about showing interest. When you talk to someone, show that you are interested in what they say. You can use small responses like, "Really? That's nice," or "Wow." These words are simple, but they make the conversation friendly. When someone feels that you are listening, they feel happy to talk more. Good conversations always have good listening. Another tip is to use why and how questions. These questions help you get longer answers. For example, instead of asking, "Do you like music?" you can ask, "Why do you like music?" or "What kind of music do you like?" These questions open the conversation. They give you more to talk about. I once asked someone, "What kind of movies do you like?" He said, "I like action movies." Then I asked, "Why do you like them?" He explained more, and our conversation became longer and more fun. Now let's talk about adding details. When you speak, try to add a little more information. Instead of saying, "I went out," you can say, "I went out with my friends to a cafe." This gives more meaning and helps the other person respond better. Details make your conversation richer and more interesting. Another important thing is to stay on the topic. If you suddenly change the topic, it can confuse the other person. Try to talk about one thing at a time and move slowly to another topic. For example, if you are talking about food, you can ask, "What is your favorite food?" Then you can talk about restaurants or cooking. This keeps the conversation smooth. Now let's talk about common topics. Some easy topics are weather, hobbies, food, movies, and daily life. These topics are simple and useful for beginners. For example, you can say, "The weather is very hot today," or "I like watching movies." These simple sentences can start a longer conversation. I remember talking about the weather with a stranger. It was a very hot day, so I said, "It's very hot today." He agreed, and we started talking more. A simple topic helped us connect. Another tip is to use connectors. Words like and, but, because, and so help you connect your ideas. They make your sentences longer and clearer. For example, "I like tea because it is relaxing," or "I wanted to go out, but it started raining." These words make your speaking more natural. Also, don't be afraid of small pauses. It's okay to think before you speak. You can take a moment to find the right words. This is normal in any language. When I was learning, I often paused to think. At first I felt shy, but then I realized it's okay. Taking a short pause is better than saying nothing. Another helpful tip is to repeat or rephrase. If you don't understand something, you can say, "Can you repeat that?" or "Can you say it again?" This helps you understand and continue the conversation. You can also repeat what the other person said. For example, "You like football? That's nice." This shows that you are listening. Now let's talk about ending a topic and moving to a new one. When one topic ends, you can gently start another. For example, "That's interesting. By the way, do you like music?" This helps you move forward without stopping the conversation. Also, practice makes everything easier. The more you talk, the better you get. Try to speak every day, even for a few minutes. You can practice with friends, online partners, or even by yourself. Practice helps you think faster and speak more naturally. I practiced every day, even when I made mistakes. Slowly, I became more comfortable. Speaking became easier and more fun. Lastly, enjoy the conversation. Don't think too much about grammar or mistakes. Focus on communication. The goal is to share ideas and understand each other. When you enjoy talking, you feel relaxed. And when you are relaxed, you speak better. So remember, ask questions, share your thoughts, listen carefully, and keep practicing. These simple steps will help you continue any conversation in English. Now we have learned how to continue a conversation. In the next chapter, we will learn how to speak confidently and naturally in English. Chapter 3. How to speak confidently and naturally in English. Speaking English is not only about words, it is also about confidence. Many people know English, but they feel shy when they speak. They are afraid of making mistakes. But remember, confidence is the key. First, let me tell you a short story. When I started speaking English, I always felt nervous. My hands felt cold and my voice was not strong. I worried too much about mistakes. But one day, I decided to speak without fear. I told myself, it's okay to make mistakes. That day changed everything. Slowly, I became more confident. Now let's talk about confidence. Confidence comes from practice. The more you speak, the more confident you become. You don't need to wait until your English is perfect. Start speaking now, even if your sentences are simple. When you speak, believe in yourself. Even if you make mistakes, keep going. Confidence is not about being perfect. It is about trying again and again. Another important tip is to think in English. Many learners first think in their own language, then translate into English. This takes time and makes speaking slow. Try to think directly in English. At first it may feel difficult. You may only think small sentences like, I am hungry or I am tired. That's okay. Start small. Slowly, your thinking will improve. I remember when I started thinking in English. It was not easy, but I practiced every day. Soon I did not need to translate. Words came to my mind quickly. This made my speaking faster and more natural. Now let's talk about speaking naturally. To sound natural, you need to use simple and common expressions. You don't need big or complicated words. Native speakers also use simple language in daily life. For example, instead of saying something very long, you can say, I like it, that's good, or I understand. These are natural and easy. Another way to sound natural is to listen and copy. Listen to how people speak in English. You can watch videos, movies, or listen to conversations. Then try to copy their style. This is called imitation. It helps you learn pronunciation, tone, and rhythm. I used to watch English videos and repeat what I heard. I copied the way people spoke. At first, it felt strange, but it helped me a lot. My pronunciation became better, and I started sounding more natural. Now let's talk about pronunciation. Good pronunciation helps people understand you. You don't need a perfect accent, but you should speak clearly. Practice saying words out loud. Listen carefully to how words sound. Repeat them again and again. You can also record your voice. Listen to it and see where you can improve. This is a very powerful method. I used to record myself reading short sentences. When I listened, I noticed my mistakes. Then I corrected them. This helped me improve step by step. Another important thing is your voice. Speak clearly and a little louder. Don't speak too softly. A clear voice shows confidence. Also, don't rush. Speak at a normal speed. If you speak too fast, you may make more mistakes. If you speak slowly and clearly, people will understand you better. Now let's talk about body language. Body language is very important when speaking. Stand or sit straight. Look at the person. Smile when you talk. These small actions make you look confident, even if you feel nervous inside. I remember when I started using better body language, I smiled more and made eye contact. People responded positively. It made me feel more confident. Another tip is to practice speaking alone. Yes, you can practice by yourself. Talk about your day. Describe what you see around you. For example, you can say, I am sitting in my room, or the weather is nice today. This simple practice helps you think and speak in English. You can also practice in front of a mirror. This helps you see your expressions and improve your confidence. Now let's talk about using pauses. Many people think pauses are bad, but they are not. Pauses give you time to think. They make your speech clearer. Instead of saying, or too much, just pause for a moment, then continue speaking. I learned to use pauses when I spoke. It made me feel more relaxed. My speaking became smoother. Another important tip is to learn useful phrases. Phrases like, in my opinion, I think, maybe, and, of course, help you express your ideas better. For example, you can say, in my opinion, this is good, or I think it is interesting. These phrases make your speech more natural. Also, don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at a different speed. Some people speak better, and that's okay. Focus on your own progress. When I compared myself to others, I felt discouraged. But when I focused on my own journey, I felt better and improved faster. Another helpful tip is to practice regularly. Even 10 to 15 minutes every day can make a big difference. Consistency is more important than long study hours. Make speaking a daily habit. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Also, try to enjoy speaking. Don't see it as a task. See it as a fun activity. Talk about things you like. Share your ideas. Laugh and enjoy the process. When you enjoy speaking, you forget your fear. You become more relaxed and confident. Lastly, remember that confidence grows slowly. It does not come in one day. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small progress. I remember when I could only say a few sentences. Now I can speak freely. This happened because I practiced and stayed patient. So believe in yourself. Speak every day. Don't fear mistakes. You are improving step by step. Now we have learned how to speak confidently and naturally. In the next chapter, we will learn how to handle real-life conversations and different situations in English. Chapter 4. How to handle real-life conversations in English. Speaking in practice is one thing, but speaking in real life can feel different. In real-life situations, things are not always slow and simple. People may speak fast. There may be noise. You may feel nervous, but don't worry. With the right approach, you can handle these situations. First, let me tell you a short story. One day, I went to a shop where the shopkeeper spoke English. I felt nervous. I wanted to say something, but I was afraid. Then I took a deep breath and said, "Hello, I want to buy this." My sentence was simple, but it worked. The shopkeeper understood me. That moment gave me confidence. Now let's talk about real-life situations. In daily life, you may talk to people in shops, at school, at work, or even on the phone. Each situation is different, but the basic skills are the same. Let's start with talking in public places. When you talk to someone in a shop or restaurant, keep your sentences simple and clear. For example, you can say, "I would like tea," or "How much is this?" These sentences are easy and useful. Politeness is very important in real-life conversations. Always use words like please, thank you, and excuse me. These words show respect and make your communication better. I remember when I started using polite words more often. People responded kindly. It made conversation smoother and more pleasant. Now let's talk about asking for help. Sometimes you may not understand something. That's okay. You can ask for help politely. You can say, "Can you help me?" Or, "Can you explain this?" Most people are happy to help. If you don't understand what someone says, you can say, "Sorry, I didn't understand," or, "Can you say that again?" This is very normal. Even native speakers ask this sometimes. Another important situation is talking on the phone. Phone conversations can be harder because you cannot see the person. You only hear their voice. In this case, listen carefully and speak clearly. Start with a greeting like, "Hello," and then say why you are calling. For example, "Hello, I am calling about the meeting." Speak slowly and clearly so the other person can understand you. Now let's talk about group conversations. Talking in a group can feel difficult because many people are speaking. You may not know when to speak, but don't worry. First, listen carefully. Understand what others are saying. Then, when there is a small pause, you can speak. You don't need to talk all the time. Even a small sentence is enough. For example, you can say, "I agree," or "That's a good idea." These short sentences show that you are part of the conversation. I remember feeling nervous in group discussions. I stayed quiet at first. Then I started saying small things. Slowly, I became more comfortable and spoke more. Now, let's talk about dealing with fast speakers. Sometimes people speak very fast and it is hard to understand. In this case, don't panic. Stay calm. You can politely say, "Can you speak slowly, please?" Most people will understand and speak slower. Also, focus on key words. You don't need to understand every word. Try to catch the main idea. This will help you respond better. Another important skill is handling mistakes. In real-life conversations, you will make mistakes. That is normal. If you make a mistake, don't stop. Just continue speaking. If needed, you can correct yourself. For example, "I go to market yesterday." "Sorry, I went to the market yesterday." This shows learning and confidence. Now let's talk about using English in different situations. For example, at school, you may talk to teachers and classmates. At work, you may talk to colleagues. In each place, your language may change a little, but the basics stay the same. Be respectful, be clear, and be confident. Another helpful tip is to prepare for common situations. Think about what you might say in a shop, in a meeting, or when meeting someone new. Practice these situations in your mind or with a friend. I used to practice real-life situations at home. I imagined I was in a shop or talking on the phone. This helped me feel ready in real situations. Now let's talk about staying calm. Sometimes you may feel nervous, especially in new situations. Your heart may beat fast. You may forget words. This is normal. Take a deep breath. Stay calm. Speak slowly. Even if your sentence is not perfect, it is okay. The goal is communication, not perfection. Another important thing is to be a good listener. In real-life conversations, listening is very important. When you listen carefully, you understand better and respond correctly. Show that you are listening. Nod your head, smile, or say small words like yes or okay. This makes the conversation more natural. Also, try to learn from every conversation. After you talk to someone, think about what went well and what you can improve. This helps you grow. I used to think about my conversations later. I noticed my mistakes and learned from them. This helped me improve faster. Another tip is to stay positive. Sometimes conversations may not go well. Maybe you don't understand, or maybe you feel shy. That's okay. Don't feel bad. Every experience is a learning opportunity. The more you try, the better you become. Also, be friendly. Smile and be kind. A friendly attitude makes communication easier, even if your English is not perfect. Lastly, keep practicing in real life. Practice is the best teacher. The more you use English in real situations, the more confident and natural you become. I remember how nervous I felt in my first real conversations, but I kept trying. Today, I can handle many situations with confidence, and you can too. So go out, speak, listen, and learn. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. We have now completed our journey on how to talk to someone in English. From starting a conversation to continuing it, from speaking confidently to handling real-life situations, you are ready. Keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You are doing great, and you will continue to improve every day. Thank you for being part of this journey.